Hey, Super Cruisers, it's Kevin and Frank from Cruising with Wheels.
Have we got a video for you today? Stick around.
Welcome to another exciting chapter of our Q&A.
I think this is the 38th
It
Q&A.
is, I think. Yes.
So keep those questions coming. Send us via email. What's our new email address?
Brand new email address, cruisingwithwheels@gmail.com.
We'll take your questions, comments, and ideas for videos, as well as your photos to be a super cruiser.
Yay!
Include your names of the people that are in the photograph, as well as the ship that you've sailed on. And we'll feature you at the end of a regular Thursday video. But for right now, we're going to get right into the first question, which comes from Greg. And he wrote, "Hey, Kevin, love the channel, but I have a very specific cruise question. I feel you might be able to at least point me in the right direction. My spouse, myself, our two kids, and a set of parents are sailing to Bermuda in 2022 on the Celebrity Summit. Ooh, for the 50th anniversary. The economics made the most sense that one child will be in our room and the other child will be in the grandparents' connecting room. Everyone will have passports, but do we need any additional documentation for the ship or cruise line to set sail? Anything additional that may be required if the grandparents want to take the kids off in Bermuda alone without the parents." Lucky you.
Lucky parents.
Luckily, it's the set of grandparents with the same last name as the grandkids.
Very convenient.
Is there a special services, and he puts that in quotes, number at Celebrity we should reach out to? I know we have two different confirmation numbers for the sailing and separate invoices, so I'm not completely sure if the reservations are linked properly. Now,
Okay.
oh, that's a lot of
mouthful.
question. It's a lot of question, but you know what? We have the answers for you. We think that number one, you should contact Celebrity Cruises. There's no special number, right? No
Right,
special
no.
number you got to call. Just whoever you booked your cruise
Nothing
with.
magical.
So either, so if you've used an agent, you're going to have to call your agent. If you book directly with Celebrity, then you'll be able to talk with Celebrity.
Right.
And the reason behind that is travel agents. If you book with a travel agent, you have to do
That's right.
everything with the travel
You gotta
agent.
stick with them. You can't be jumping back and forth. Whoever you book with is the one you're with.
Make sure you give them both the confirmation
Yes.
numbers and just tell them you need them linked. You're traveling together. It's a very simple, easy process. They'll do it for you. Bingity, bangity, boom.
Bada bing.
Is that what you say?
Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada bam, bada boom. Now, even though you have passports, we had a suggestion.
Because we're obsessive compulsives.
We are.
Yes.
And what was that suggestion? We suggested that everybody get together, parents, kids, and grandparents, and take a photo.
Right.
Right?
Take group photos and everybody have it on their cell phones.
Everybody have it on your cell phones and everybody have a paper copy.
Right.
And you know why this is a great idea? What if you all get separated? What if the kids turn around and grandma and grandpa are going la 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 and they weren't paying attention and the kids are now separated and they need to find the grandparents?
Anybody who has children should always have a current picture of their child on hand, whether it's cell phone these days. Everyone has a cell phone,
Right.
so yeah.
And it's a horrible thought
Yeah.
to think that something's
But
going to happen.
it's best to be prepared.
Best to
That's
be
safe
prepared.
and sorry. I mean, you watch all these TV shows. I'm sorry, do you have a picture of your child? No, I don't. Well, how the heck am I supposed to find them?
Now, I know you didn't ask us this, but we had a bonus tip for you. And that is, we think that since there's so many people traveling together, and we think everybody should do this, you should have a printout of all your medications with you.
Oh, absolutely.
What your dosages are, who's taking them,
Right.
when they're taking them, and carry it with you. It should be part of your shore bag.
That's right. I
Right?
know. I mean, I have it in my binder, but each one of us in our bags has our medicine
And allergies.
and allergies.
Now,
right.
yeah, what if
And
grandma
whether-
and grandpa are out with the kids and somebody gets hurt
Right.
and they have to go to the hospital? They're going to ask you, what medications are
Right.
they on? When do they
and,
take them?
And I know, again, we go back to the cell phone thing where it says, yeah, but I think Grandpa had a copy of it on his cell phone. Well, Grandpa's unconscious right now, and nobody knows what his password is to get into his cell phone to get that information.
That's right.
And you all know how old school I am with pen and paper. I have upgraded to computer printouts. So, yeah, I am a firm believer. I print them out, I fold them up, one in my bag, one in his bag, and we all know, because when crisis occurs, everybody's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. Nobody wants to deal with that.
The next question comes from Maria. She writes, "Hi, Kevin and Frank. My in-laws want us all to go on a cruise. My husband seems keen on the idea, but I've never been on a boat, and I'm afraid I'll get seasick and ruin the whole trip. What should I do?"
I kind of felt like that on my first cruise.
Yeah.
I'd never been on a cruise, and yeah, I kind of was worried about being seasick. And when we boarded, everybody apparently knew something I didn't, because like 95% of everybody,
Oh, did everybody have the growth?
everybody had the patch on behind the ear, and I was like, what is that? I mean, how dumb was I? But I wasn't a world cruiser back then. But you know what? I was not seasick. So
But
what's our answer?
So I think that the bigger ships nowadays are much more stable. They have a lot more technology
Yeah.
into it that makes it more stable. And try to get a cabin on a lower deck, less rocky.
Again, like kind of mid.
Like
Midship, mid, instead of
Front to
forward.
back.
Yeah.
mid front to back, mid.
Find that sweet,
Up and down.
sweet spot in the middle.
And you know what else I told her to do?
Oh, well, it's something that I hope I would have also thought of.
To watch the top 10 seasickness cures. And there's a link above.
That's right.
My little head.
That's right. We did a video.
My little head or your little head?
I don't know.
I
One
don't
of our
know,
heads.
one of
But
our
we did a
heads.
video on seasickness cures.
It's way over my head.
I know. So, yeah, go check that out. And don't be afraid.
Now, the next question comes from Connie. And Connie messaged us and said, "Hey, guys, I've been thinking about going on a cruise for a while now. But when I talked to my friend, she said not to waste my time or money. Her last cruise pre-COVID was god-awful. It was bad food, bad entertainment, horrible service. Should I rethink my plans? You all love cruising, and I want to know what I'm missing out on. Thanks."
My answer to her was, you might think about not listening to your friend.
You need to form your own opinion.
I mean, everybody's experience is different, and I know it's kind of scary because you haven't cruised and you're looking for people who have, but kind of step back a minute, and when you hear somebody say it was god-awful, it had bad food, bad entertainment, bad, everything was bad, I begin to wonder about my friend.
Yeah,
Does
is
she
she-
hate everything?
I was just going to say, is she a little picky?
I said,
Now, I don't want to say you're going to go on this cruise and have the best cruise that ever existed.
Right.
Because it's not only ship to ship.
Yeah.
It's not only cruise line to cruise line.
Yeah.
It's every cruise
Right.
is different.
right, it is.
And we've had bad experiences
Yep.
and we've had good experiences. But remember, life is all what you make it.
That's right.
Everything in
Right.
life. Right?
Right.
So
I don't know how anyone being on a cruise ship, sailing around, going to different
have a
countries,
bad time.
could be bad.
Right. So our next question comes from Anita, and she writes, "Hi, Kevin and Frank. My husband is obsessed with buffets. Obsessed.
Ooh, buffets.
Yes, he loves to eat. I know that when we board our cruise, he will want to run straight to the buffet. I watch you guys all the time, and I know you recommend staying away from the buffets on Embarkation Day. What do we do? What do we do? I don't want to fight a huge crowd, yet I also don't want to fight with my husband."
Lordy, Miss Anita. We would always say, first of all, everything with your spouse is about compromise.
Right.
Compromise. And I know, loves buffet. You know me, I love a good breakfast buffet. But Kevin loves a sit-down. He would love a sit-down breakfast. And you know what? If I can't compromise for one day, or with Kevin for maybe 2 or 3, let's say half the cruise, and give him a sit-down, and I get a few buffets, and he gets a few, compromise. And if your husband isn't willing to give you at least, one day off the buffet, I don't know, leave him home.
I would say that you need to tell your husband that, in our opinion, the first day is the worst day to go to the buffet.
It is. Yeah,
It's
it's dog eat
worst
dog.
day. And tell him this, okay? Remember, people just got off the ship. Do you think that food is fresh at the buffet? Because that's what I always think.
I know. I don't
always
want
think-
anybody's previous cruise carryover
Yeah,
food.
I think it's carryover on the first day. I really do. But that's why we say, that's another reason why we say go to a sit down dinner or lunch that first day.
The next one comes from Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Is it true that I can order as much food as I want in the restaurants? Because I will go through the menus with a vengeance. Woo!
Child.
Ooh, I'm going to put my foot in all that.
Well, there's no straight answer for that. It's going to be, it depends, right?
Yeah.
And what does it depend on?
Well, it depends on what restaurant you're eating at. Are you eating at a complimentary restaurant where the food is all included and free? Or are you eating in a specialty restaurant where you're going to have to pay for it?
Right.
Either way, if you're going to be eating and going through that menu with a vengeance, specialty will cost you, complimentary will not.
Exactly.
I mean, you can order in a complimentary. We've ordered multiple appetizers,
multiple entrees, multiple desserts.
I do notice that on some
Gaining weight just talking about it.
some cruise lines where, let's say they're having a special night in the restaurant, like a lobster or whatever, they won't bring you that second one until you're finished with the first one. They're not going to load your table and say, give me 5 lobster tails. Some of them might make you finish the first one and then bring you the second one. I have noticed that. But no, eat as much as you want.
Excuse me.
What? Who's next?
The next one comes from Janet on Instagram.
Okay.
Where can I put my luggage when I unpack? I'm going to be in an inside cabin, and I'll have a lot of luggage.
Ooh, child.
Well, we would first tell you, don't bring a lot of luggage.
Watch our packing series. Want to pack all the packing mistakes. You don't want to do those, but there's places.
Yeah, an inside cabin can be pretty tight,
Yeah.
but very often in the inside cabins, what I do is I nest the luggage.
Make sure it's the first thing you do.
And then because we unpack.
Right.
We are unpackers. If we get on that ship, as soon as those cabins are open,
Right.
we go in, we unpack everything, we make it like our home.
It's like we're moving into a house.
And then I nest that luggage, and I will either shove it under the bed,
Right.
because believe it or not, it will fit, or...
Sometimes we lay it down flat in the closet, in our closet
And
there
then
if we
that
can.
becomes our dirty
Right.
section.
Depending on, let's say, if we were, I know we were in a balcony, we took the luggage and we hid it behind a chair in a corner just to get it out of the way.
I know people that put the luggage on their balcony.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
And I think
wouldn't
that's
do-
crazy.
Yeah, there's some people who roll it into the shower.
We've done that.
We've done that.
We have done that.
Again, we have a handicap accessible room. It has a roll and everything. And just to get out of the way, we did it when we had that party on our first group cruise. We rolled all that luggage into the shower, pulled the curtain, and had everybody in our cabin for a party, and nobody was the wiser. Who's next?
Next up is Grace. Now, Grace snapped us and asked, my husband does not like crowds. And she says, in big letters, does not
Oh, boy.
like crowds.
Get off the planet.
He's been pushing back against going on a cruise. I've cruised before, and I think it would be fine. How do I convince him?
My answer to that is be very honest with him. I mean, be honest. It's a ship. I don't know what ship you might be thinking of, but it has, and it could be anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 passengers.
6,000,
But it's a big,
7,000,
but-
8,000.
But it's a big ship. And will the elevators be crowded?
Maybe.
Probably on first day, last day, or sea days. Take the stairs. But when you go into port, nobody will pretty much be on the ship.
I know. I think it's a great vacation
right.
for people who don't like
Well-
crowds. They don't have to
Yeah.
be around when crowds are around.
Will the theaters be crowded? Not any more crowded than a theater at home.
Right.
So it's all relative to the size of the ship and what he thinks is too crowded.
Right. And I would say my tip would be is when you're going around places or doing things locally, say, is this too crowded for you?
Yeah, get a feel for what is too crowded. Hope he's not going to be a complainer. Ain't nobody want to deal with that. Who's next?
You have it.
Okay. It's from Jerry. Jerry emailed us and said, my wife and I are planning our first cruise. After all the pandemic hoopla. Never been before, but when you can't do something, you want to do it all the more. Oh, yeah. We're in our 50s. Will there be stuff for us to do on board, or is it just a lot of walking around and being a bit laid back? My wife can get a bit antsy.
Oh,
There's plenty of stuff to do.
I'm antsy.
He's very antsy. Find out what your interests your wife. What does your wife like to do? Get her involved in planning with you the cruise. Get on after you've selected what cruise you're going on.
Well, I think she should be involved in the process of
Absolutely,
selection.
of selection. But once you do that, get on the website of whatever cruise line your cruise is from, and find out what activities that ship that should be part of the booking process.
Now,
what does the ship offer you?
Right. Now, keep in mind that once you are on board, there will be a ton of things to do that weren't listed
Right.
On the website. You're going to get a daily newsletter left in your cabin, or now after COVID, right? Or during COVID, during and after. A lot of the cruise lines have moved to the on app.
Right.
So it'll be on your cell phone what the daily schedule will be. And they'll have something listed for every 15 minutes.
Right. So there's stuff to do. And that's
Tons of things.
That's just the ship. Now, once you get into port, whatever ports you're going to, research those ports before you set sail. Have her figure out what she wants to do. I don't know. Is she an active person? She says she's antsy. She sounds a little active. So, again, compromise, people.
Well, this is something you don't have to compromise on.
Why?
Because very often I'll go off and do something on my own, and you'll just be relaxing or napping or, you know.
But you're not going to leave me alone in a port.
No, I'm talking about when you're on the cruise ship.
I'm talking about when you go into port. Figure out what is happening.
Maybe I'll leave you.
What excursions are available from the cruise line in all the ports, and figure out what she wants to do. Planning is the key. Because then you don't spend the time spinning your wheels on the ship trying to figure out what you want to do. You've got it all planned. Maybe you've got it all paid for ahead of time, and spend the time enjoying yourself.
Next up is Stan the Man.
Ooh, Stan the Man. What does he want?
He says, I'm used to going to the gym to work out every day. How good are the gyms on board all of these ships? They are all state of the art.
I mean, when I was cruising with my friends way back in the day, we would go to the gym every morning. Yeah, everybody would be on the treadmills, the ellipticals. There's rowing machines. There's free weights. It's not going to be your personal gym at home, whatever. But
it'll probably be better.
But no,
they'll have a steam room, a sauna.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, most of them have newer equipment.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry.
I wouldn't be worried at all. You can go every day.
I wouldn't worry about interrupting your regimen.
No, and most of the gyms will be open very early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they'll probably close about 9.
I'm like, guys, we're on vacation. What are we thinking?
I ain't working out. Nuh-uh.
The last question we have today from Ethel.
My girlfriends and I were all together for a girls' night out. The topic of cruising came up as a possible vacation for us next year.
Ooh.
I know nothing about cruising, and I heard them talking about a back-to-back cruise. What the heck is that?
You were eavesdropping, and everybody was like, "Oh, cruise, we're gonna go. We should do a back to back." You're like, "What the heck is that?"
Or a B2B.
A B2B.
Sometimes they call them B2Bs.
Yeah. So what is a back to back?
Well, a back-to-back is simply 2 consecutive cruises, 2 or more cruises in a row.
Right.
So you would book, and this could be done a couple of ways.
Right.
We've
right.
talked about
Oh,
this.
absolutely.
You could be doing the same cruise, one right after the other, which if you book it right, you could have the same room,
Right.
the same cabin, and you may not have to take any of your stuff off
Right.
the
You
ship
gotta check
in
with
between.
the cruise line. So the back to back could be 2 cruises on the same ship, or a back to back could be
2 cruises on 2 different ships.
ships. Which let's say we board the NCL Gem, we do a week's cruise, we get off, and then we're boarding a Royal Caribbean that same day, or maybe the next day. We might get a hotel that night. It depends. We try
I don't
to
consider that a
no,
back
but
to back.
we like to do a get off on one and get on the other. So yeah, different cruise lines, or the same cruise line, same ship.
And they might be asking the question of, well, why would I want to take the same ship again? Very often, the ships, say the Gem, will do 2 different itineraries every other week. So they'll do the east, they'll come back to port, then they do the west. So this is a way that you could see east and west.
Right.
It would be like a 2-week cruise.
Right, and this is where you get to your travel professional, and you give them the criteria. I'm interested in a back-to-back. I want to be a 2-week cruise where one does, let's say, one side, one does the other side, so I can get the best of both worlds.
Right,
So, they will research for you.
We've tried to
Yeah.
get, like the last time I looked, I wanted to get a 5-day.
Right.
And do a 5-day on one ship and a 5-day on another ship to make it
Right.
a 10-day
Yeah.
cruise experience. Didn't work out.
I know. We're still trying.
We were able to get a cabin on one ship,
Right,
but we couldn't get it
right.
on the other ship. And
Yeah.
so I just kind of went, ah!
Yeah. The accessibility cabin issue is always a fly in the ointment and a wrench in things for us.
If you have a question for our Q&A, or you want to be featured as a super cruiser at the end of a regular Thursday video, you simply have to email us at
cruisingwithwheels@gmail.com.
It is a new address, so if you haven't already updated your contacts list, please do so now. We're also on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. You
right.
can message us there if you have a question.
Send those questions in so you can be part of our next Q&A.
But until next time, we want to remind everybody to always
Travel safe.
and cruise often.